Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Guruji often jokes that sometimes people complain, I'm the only one that has to do everything, and that causes me so much stress and worry, and nobody else cares. And Guruji will tell this person, because we have something called division of labor. There's no point in two people doing the same job. If you're already doing the worrying job, then other people need not do it. The next verse of Bhaja Govindam talks about how we waste time worrying. Kate kanta dhanagata chinta vatula kim tava nasti niyanta. The verse is referring to how we spend time worrying about our money and our family. And if we think about this, actually in today's world, we feel we are more popular if we are stressed. For some reason, it makes us feel important. And so we tend to be stressed so that we appear busy, important, needed, validated. We don't really have that much to do, but we definitely portray the image that there's so much that has to get done, so much to rest on my shoulders, and therefore I'm so stressed. Worry is the word used in scriptures, but in today's world we use the word stress. We don't say I'm worried about the exams, we say I'm stressed. We don't say I'm worried that I won't meet my deadline, we say I'm stressed. It's strange that we like being stressed, but our goal is not to be stressed. I was gifted this shower gel, and the name of the shower gel was De-Stress and Relax. And then it had a whole paragraph on how to de-stress and relax. And I think I giggled every shower I used it, because why am I doing podcast? Why am I bothering meditating? Actually, all of us have just been using the wrong shower gel. The fact that it sells better when it's marketed this way shows that it's definitely high on our list of desires to not be stressed. If we think about it logically, stress or being worried serves no purpose whatsoever. Some of the kids will often tell me that no, if they're not stressed, they don't work as well. They need to wait for the 11th hour to do their project because that's when they work the best. But this is not living up to their capacities. This is just bad time management. For if we have the talent and skill, we'd be able to do it even without the adrenaline rush of the deadline. And definitely, it's not a healthy way to do it, not for the body or for the mind. And since it's not the only way to work, stress still isn't serving a great purpose. In fact, it is destructive. It drains us of our energy and it makes us waste so much of our time. The verse of Bhaja Govindam continues to say, Vatula kim tava nasti niyanta. Why are we stressing? Isn't there someone else taking care of things? A businessman on a trip in the city of Mumbai had finished up his work and in more than ample amount of time was heading to the international airport. He ordered a taxi and got in, expecting that every taxi driver would know the way to the airport. But this taxi driver, for some reason, got lost. Maybe it was deliberate, for sometimes taxi drivers do that to get more fare. But in this case, it appears that it wasn't deliberate. Because as the man looked at the time and said, why aren't we there yet? He genuinely got very nervous. He was turning left, he was turning right, he was stopping, he was asking people. And this being in the 70s, it was before GPS and Google Maps, he really didn't know where he was going. Time had passed, and by this stage, the businessman was scared he was going to miss his flight. And so he got angrier at the taxi driver. He started even becoming a little bit abusive. Maybe language barrier was a blessing, but the taxi driver didn't understand completely all the abuse, but from his body language and his facial expressions, anyone could tell he was not happy. The taxi driver profusely tried and finally did work out where to go and drove up to the airport just at the time when the flight was taking off. The businessman got out of the taxi, screaming and shouting at the taxi driver that, how can you be so stupid? How can somebody like you even have a license to drive taxis? How can you not know how to go to the airport? Anybody who drives taxis should know how to go to the airport. You've made me miss my flight. You're such an idiot. You've ruined my day. This is going to cost me so much money. And the ranting continued, and the poor taxi driver, looking very apologetic, not knowing exactly what he can do to make the situation better. Just at that moment, the businessman looked up. And when the flight is not high in the sky, we can even see the tail and recognize which flight it is, which airline it is, and know where it will be going more or less at that hour. And he saw that the aircraft that he would have been in, for some reason, blew up. And he slowly saw different parts of the plane fall to the ground. There was screaming, there was rushing, there was panic, everyone was frantic, some people were trying to get photographs, but his life stood still, because in that moment he saw his possible death. He turned back at this very humbled taxi driver and said, "You wonderful person. You were so wise. You saved me, my life." The man very often narrates this story because he says it changed him completely. Not only doesn't he get angry as quickly as he used to, he realizes he's not in control. Even other people are not in control. There's a power far greater that's looking after each one of us. We stress about things so much when actually they're not in our hands. When so much is already being taken care of, we just don't recognize it. There's another beautiful story about a saint, Samartha Ramdas, who was guiding a prince, Chhatrapati Shivaji. And the prince one day, having fought a great battle, looked around at all the soldiers as they were eating their dinner. And he had this thought in his head, hundreds of people I am able to feed. Fortunately for him, he had a guru, and the guru sensed this pride enter his heart, and then came to him and said, "Do you mind breaking this rock for me?" And of course, in the tradition, with reverence and respect we have for the guru, we do whatever's said. And so Chhatrapati Shivaji asked two of the soldiers to break the rock. And he found that in the middle of this huge rock, there was a cavity, a small hole with a little bit of water and a little frog in that cavity of water. And the guru looked at him and said, "I suppose you're taking care of that frog as well." And he knew immediately his mistake. He's not taking care of anyone. We really are not so important. There's someone else that has the final say. When we look at the world and all the things that we have to do and we have to say and we have to accomplish and we get stressed, what we need to remind ourselves is, it's really not my monkey and not my circus. So I can be stressed and use up my time and energy in the most unconstructive way and unpleasant way. Or I can have faith and surrender, do the best I can, and then sit back relax, and enjoy the flight. Think about it.
For more in-depth talks from Swamini Supriyananda and other excellent teachers of the Chinmaya mission, you can subscribe to chinmayaclicks.com. That's Chinmaya, CLIX.com. You can also visit the Chinmaya channel on YouTube for bite-sized inspiration and discourses on in-depth Vedantic texts. To know about local classes, activities, and upcoming retreats, visit www.chinmayamission.com. And see you on the next podcast.